Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Kowski. Every week we're gonna dive headfirst into the chaos, the moments that make us. So buckle up because the trouble starts now. So, all right, you guys, I'm here with the boy, the legend, Teddy.
Yo, 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 what's good, baby? What's happening with you, man? It's none other than your brother, man. Teddy, aka Cocaine White, aka Keezy, aka the 3 Point Slayer. I'm here, man. What they do, baby?
You already know the vibes, man. We just had to go back to like the old days.
hmm
Back then, 125 Park.
Yeah.
Like, what are what brought you to that park as a kid?
Oh wow. That's a good question, man. I mean, I think initially, sorry about that. Initially, we all came from Gratney. And if y'all don't know, Gratney is on 119th and North Miami Ave. And Gratney used to be like the mecca for like basketball. And they have two courts. And it's like 8.5 feet rim. So it's not the 10-foot criteria. But if you wanted to get some good runs back in the day, you had to come to Gratney. And as a kid growing up, you had like the varsity court, which was like the top dogs. And then we were like the little youngins on the JV court, basically. And you had to earn your stripes in order to play on that side. And make a long story short, there was an altercation that happened out there. And God bless the dead, Tito. He happened to pass away at the court. Um, he became a victim to, nonsense, gun violence or whatever. And
Sounds like a nigga moment from Boondocks, really.
pretty much. And, everyone we had to transition to the new court. And 125 didn't have that much of a following at that time, but that became the spillover where everyone kind of went. And initially, I didn't go to 125th, but I always knew that they were playing there. And Joe, who I would say was probably like the main contributor and inspiration, and he created the Kahuna Classic. And the Kahuna Classic became like North Miami's 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 tournament that became, prize winning, and it was very heralded. And it became like the scene. I believe it would be like every year in June or late May, we would have the Kahuna Classic, and you would see the best 4-on-4 that from our hood, from North Miami, and some people from other hoods would try to come and take the title. And you would see some good teams like the Bomb Squad, and and other teams like that formulate and just play some good basketball. So that pretty much was what I knew. And then when I went to school and came back, that's when I started to come out to 125 more on a consistent basis. So I would say I was probably like the second or third uh,
Generation?
generation of like highlighting 125 basketball at Top Lot, or I guess you could call it Top Lot, right? Or 125th. But yeah, and we had our run. That's when I met you guys, the D League, the.
So what made you gave us the name the D League?
Well, the D League was the kids that we always felt like had a promise to be the next generation, but they just wasn't better than us yet at the moment. So what we would do was try to motivate them at the same time, try to keep them in line, and make them play at a respectable level, and just give them something to inspire to and be great. And it was you, Mark, Mario, a couple other guys, and these guys would come together every day and they would come and compete every day, no matter how many times they lost. They would keep coming back, and then they would get some W's sometimes too. So I ain't gonna just discredit you and say, "Oh, y'all were losing all the
Well, we
time."
was practicing every single time we could get, you know.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, yeah, definitely was the next up and coming. So and then you would see growth, like you would see people getting better through competition. You know, like men sharpen men. So the fact that we was just balling on a consistent basis, it gave us something to do, kept people out of trouble, you know, and definitely gave us opportunity to bond, you know, as brothers. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And we met a lot of good people out there, man. Like I still see Twin and his brother, you know, and well, his brothers and been deported, but we used to see them both together at the park playing every day, you know. And one chose to stay, on the course, and the other one chose the different course, unfortunately. But we can't save them all, but we tried to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was just a park where the OGs kind of showed love to the younger OGs. So even when I was a young OG, I had my OGs like God bless the dead, Bruce, and Bird, who's it's Bird birthday today too. We might hang out later on tonight.
Happy birthday, Bird, if you see this one day.
Yeah, and Joe and Mark and the tall Mark. Couple other guys, man, that was always out there, and just helping us, work on our craft and be better men in the community, you know.
Like, the crazy thing about that, when you said we're the league, we're still developing.
Uh-huh.
Like, what really used to piss us off was like, all right, you guys, D League time is over. And now's the NBA's time.
Yeah, because y'all used to come at it, but you know what's funny now? The kids don't respect that no more, man. At least I respected the fact that y'all would come early, y'all would get y'all games in, and then after a while y'all were like, no, y'all gotta beat us off the court.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And after a while we had to respect that and actually do it. You know what I mean? And if it wasn't done, then y'all would have y'all run. You know what I mean? But nowadays, the Jizz be like, man, I just want to play. I just want to play. I just want to play. And then
They don't earn it. That's the thing.
and they're wasting our time. You know what I mean? They get out with 7-zip them, and now they're like, man, at least I tried to. At least I crossed him up. At least I did a crossover. You saw I broke his ankles, but you didn't score. You didn't finish. You had $1 million move and a 2-cent finish. So it's things like that kind of used to irk my nerves, you know what I'm saying? But y'all was committed. Y'all always been good peoples to me, man. So I ain't never had any disrespect or any discontent for y'all. I always knew y'all was the next generation, so I knew when the torch was gonna be handed down, it was in good hands. You know what I'm
I
saying?
appreciate that
You know. And
because
then
we worked hard.
Kowski is the hustle man. Like to this day, we still go to LA Fitness and you go hard, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody picks him up, even though he's only 5'2". I'm lying. He's taller than that. But even though he's short, he's coming like Jalen Bronson every day. He's coming hard. And like I said, that's something that he always had, the grit, the grind.
I had to learn that because it's like playing ball with everybody that like went to like they played on the high school team. I had to catch up some way, so I just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just be the hustle guy."
That's it. That's it. You got to make your way. You got to do what you got to do to earn your minutes. You know what I mean? Yeah, but man, it was always. And the thing is, originally football is my sport. You know what I'm saying?
Same.
And football was my sport. I was high school. I was very heralded, unsung hero. Almost got a full ride to Florida A&M. And things like that. I always wanted more, and I just didn't have the mentorship, like the mentorship that I see. Guys that used to play at the park with us, like Angel, and how he's doing with the cleats over the streets, and some of the mentorship that I see even with Liv and his son, how the fatherhood aspect of it is helping his kids develop and being there for them on a consistent basis. You know, I come from an era where our parents didn't want us to go play ball because they thought we was gonna get hurt. You know, it was only the three L's: Leglis, Lakai, and Lekol. You know what I mean? So it was like going out to the park and playing football. It's like, what is that? What business is this? You know? And I was, my mom was a little bit more Americanized, so I was allowed to go ahead and play, but I still didn't get the support where it comes to like having all my people come to the games and they kind of understanding what I'm trying to do and also helping me out in that aspect, you know, as far as sponsorships or like making sure I had cleats, you know, like things like that, money to go to camps, you know. These were things that we couldn't do, but I was fortunate to do so with my talent. And, you know, people would kind of grab you and take you to go do those things, you know. But 125, man, it's been a lot of
Chaos.
lot of wars going on at 125, you know, and
I feel like it's like a weekly thing when it comes to 125. Like when it
yeah,
comes to that park, it's always something. Like if I don't come one day, that's when something big happens.
yeah. A lot of the time, that's how it goes. You know, you got to be consistent. It's like a soap opera. You know, if you miss one day, you might lose the whole story and find out how things happen. You know what I mean? But it's like
It was like your second job, Monday through Friday. You miss a shift, you miss something important.
you miss who got fired, you miss who got caught sleeping on the job, you miss who got caught having sex in the car. You missed all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which was crazy. But you know, and honestly, I missed a lot of it too. Like the stories that I used to hear was, you know, beyond. I think when I kind of came, I think we were kind of more settled, you know. But before us, there was more. It was more fighting. It was more, you know, infeuding. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of it was because a lot of us were just angry. A lot of us were angry and didn't know how to channel our anger. You know what I mean? And basketball is such a competitive sport that you end up, you know, wanting to duke it out. You know what I mean? And it's a bravado sport. It's a sport where, you know, the alpha dog is going to reign supremacy. You know what I mean? So,
in this generation, there's no alpha dog. There's only one alpha bullet.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they ain't even trying to
Rough
they
it out. They just trying to shoot it out.
yeah, they don't even want that type of, you know, their mindset is crazy, you know. Is what? Get to go get the switch. You know, it ain't even they you could you talk to them wrong and they feel some type of way. You know, they're ultra sensitive, you know. But hey man, I, I'm 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 kind of glad that I don't have a son growing up in this era, you know. But I always wonder if I did, how would he be, and would I be able to groom him the way I would want? You know what I mean? Because a lot of the times, you can imagine what your offspring will be like, but you never know until they're actually here, until they're, you might be the ultimate football jock, and your son, he comes out and all he wants to do is play Roblox.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All he wants to do is play Fortnite. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and there's times where you can't force someone to love a sport, you know, like you did. You know what I mean? So no matter how hard you may want someone to live out your childhood dreams, you got to let them be themselves. So
I feel like another thing is like you have to be in that environment constantly to
to kind of grasp it,
to
right?
understand it and have a love for it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But you know, even then, it's like, you know, I noticed with my nephews, like we took them to football games, you know, all their life, you know. They know you, they know the you, they go to the you, and you know, they know the whole marching theme songs, but they ain't want no parts of that football field. Like they ain't want no parts of that field, you know. And when we tried to put them in, you know, it was like lackluster effort. It was like, nah, it's too hot. I'm getting sweaty, you know, like you know, so stuff like that.
You see, they have options now. Back then, we had no choice.
We
It's
had
either
no
you inside
choice.
or outside,
Yeah,
and
it's
outside
true.
is always more fun than inside.
Yeah. Now inside is where they want to be. Like inside, if you ain't got no, ain't no Wi-Fi outside. You know, ain't no Wi-Fi outside. So if ain't no Wi-Fi outside, they ain't going out there. You know, they rather be right inside the house with the AC, with the Wi-Fi, and they can stroll the internet, and that's it. You know.
It's like they don't feel for that real life adventure as an outside kid, you know?
Nah, I guess their adventure is in what they game called Minecraft.
Yeah.
They go on adventures playing Minecraft, man, and it's crazy. It's crazy where they're at mentally because they have the biggest imagination, but they use it in the realm of a video game. And I'm pretty sure that somewhere along that in that mind frame of those video games, the creators of those video games is probably stealing their ideas. Whichever great ones that they have,
Yeah.
they're probably stealing their ideas. You know what I mean? And we would never know, would never get any intellectual property value from it because it's all in the realm of it's all on their platform that they've been coming up with these creative nuances. But I just see they love that. They love that shit, man. I be like, man, you see your kids on Minecraft and they look like they're demonized on it, they're obsessed with it. It's because they're putting all their time and effort and all their imaginative thoughts is in it. They're living a whole nother world online, you know, and you'd be like, wow, like, why don't you think like that creatively in real life? And in real life, they'd be like, I don't know. I don't know. You know, you ask them, did they eat today? I don't know. You know, did you take a shower? Yeah. Like, bruh, come on, nigga, why you moving slow? You know, but that's just how it is, man. I think um I think we just gotta do a little bit better on getting them outside and taking away those devices, you know.
You know, another thing is like growing up an outside kid, we all had bikes or we don't mind walking the distance just to
Hmm.
get somewhere.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, it's like after we were done playing ball at the park, we used to either walk to McDonald's, walk
Yeah.
to Pizza Hut, and then come right back to the park so we could challenge you guys. We
Yeah.
had we had a reason to come back later, you know.
That's it.
These guys just since everything's at home, they just gotta turn off the game, go to sleep, and wake up back up.
And get back on the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
There's
yeah.
no struggle. Everybody needs a little struggle. That's what I feel.
No, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. I remember my brother used to tell me, he used to be like, man, he was like, you know what's wrong? He's like, these kids nowadays, they got both parents. They need to struggle. He said, look at all the guys that's going to the NFL. They're all single parents, man. Look at LeBron, the greatest basketball player ever. Single parent, you know. If they coming from the single parent homes, they hungry. You know, look at those kids in the projects, man. Liberty City Warriors. They ain't got no daddy. So they coming hard. And I say, you know what? That's crazy. But it's true. It makes some sense. They're hungrier, you know. Not to say that it's 100% true, but you do get that hunger from those kids that already have a mindset since 8 years old that they got to get their mama out of the hood.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different mentality, you know what I'm saying? And even myself, you know, that used to be something, even though my mom was doing pretty good for herself, you always you aspire to be able to put her on another level or take her advances and advance her further. You know what I mean? So that's always been a goal, you know. But I guess if you got a mom and a dad, then you don't even think about taking care of your parents.
Yeah. You're like they good.
Yeah, they're good.
They
They
good.
take care of each other, you know. Their job is to take care of me. So you become entitled. And then you don't want for anything. You don't have that goal to reach for. So, you know.
So you pretty much telling everybody just be a single parent at this point. Your kids will be better in life.
Hey, hey, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying be a single parent, because hey, I know it takes two, especially in this climate and this economy. It's gonna take two, but if you're doing it by yourself, don't worry. You might produce the next Bo Jackson or the next Michael Jordan, as long as you just support him and be supportive in what he's doing and kind of find out that niche, find out your kid's niche. I think that's very important. Is finding out what the shorty is good in and try to push them in that direction, you know. And even if they may not know that they're good at it yet, but you kind of identify it, help them master that craft until they have confidence in themselves, and then they can create a living doing doing so. Excuse me.
So
You
what if the
know,
kid has a talent but you don't like the talent that they have? Like most people, like most parents see their kids with something with a talent they don't like, so they don't really like push it forward. They like just try to change it out of
I
them.
think that's the worst thing you can do. I think that's the worst thing you can do. I think that you have to be open minded and you have to realize that it's a different era and a different time. Now, if and do your research. Don't just be closed minded. Like, do your research. Yeah, if they're talented in this certain way, but there's no money in it, then okay, you may have a reason to deter your child from doing that. You know, like if their talent is burping loud, then there ain't no future in that. You know what I mean? But if the person is a good video gamer, he plays video games well, and he has a Twitch following that you know nothing about, but you're not willing to do the research, and you're telling him get off the computer, and you're punishing him for what the time that he's put in, but you haven't put in the time to understand the following that he's creating and the how to monetize off of what he is doing. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just like when we was kids, they ain't like us listening to rap, so there was barely any Haitian young boy bands, you know what I mean? Like you didn't see that. Why? Because our parents didn't understand the entertainment business. They didn't understand that there was a time where the money was very lucrative, and your kids can excel and not be exploited if you had your hands on top of what they were doing, you know. So I think parents should always kind of take heed into what their child is doing and what they're giving a lot of their time to. And that's probably the biggest problem now is like a lot of parents don't realize their kids are already knee deep in gangs and drugs, and they haven't even looked into what they're doing. You know what I mean? Because they're so busy and caught up with life, they don't know that their kid is going to school with a 380 in his bag every day. And he's only doing that because he got to walk through a blood hood on his way to his Crip school. You know what I mean? So it's like things like that going on. You know what I mean? That we got to pay more attention to and try to stop these things from happening. You know, but you know, I had a little. Well, I call him my nephew, but he was really my little cousin. He was 15 years old, and he died in what I want to say 10 years ago, 2016 or 2015. But he was only 15 years old when he died, and by the time we found out what he was going through, he was already, he already done been involved in multiple occasions, multiple altercations where people may have passed away and people may have been wounded. So it was things like that that kind of became an eye opener for us, where it's like, yo, if you don't get your kids will get got. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's what was going on. And it's happening like that all over, man. So just kind of take heed.
So it just sounds like the streets are always welcoming new members, but it's always taking away new members as well.
Oh, definitely. The game don't change, just the players do. It's the same game, just rotating faces. One day is Ray Ray on a t-shirt, the next day is Jordan on a t-shirt. You know, it's like it's just changing faces. One thing I know is the funeral homes, they always busy.
Yeah.
They always busy. You go on Friday and Saturday, there's not a limousine in the parking lot, because they busy. They doing what they got to do, and the streets don't love nobody. The streets ain't never love nobody. So we could claim them, and we could act like we love them, and say we in these streets and these our blocks, but we don't own shit, and they damn sure the streets don't love nobody, you know, straight up and down.
Like,
You
what
know.
would be your advice for younger people to avoid situations like that?
Well, I would tell the youngins, just kind of, pace yourself, man. Like, take your time. Like, learn to learn to evaluate every situation for what it is and what it's not. And a lot of the time, because we act before we think, we end up doing things that we can't take back. And once we've crossed that line, there ain't no coming back from crossing that line. That's what the streets are unforgiving, and that's the problem. It's like once you do certain things, you can't take it back. So, and it can be simple as slapping somebody who disrespected you. The moment you cross that line and slap that kid, who knows what's coming behind that slap, And it may not come get you today, it may not come get you tomorrow, but karma is coming like a pregnant bitch with mood swings, and it's gonna get you eventually. You know what I mean? And that's the things that happen in your hood that can cost your life. And it's real. But if you don't think before you act, you may get caught up in these situations. So I would say just say think. You know what I mean? And try not to be extra sensitive when people are just talking, because words, yeah, words are words, and yeah, they might be demeaning, but they only get you. Their words only have power if you give them power. You know what I mean? So if somebody could say the meanest thing to you, but if it doesn't phase you, it makes that person mad that they couldn't upset you with that thing that they conjured up in their mind, and they was just trying to make you upset. The moment they can't upset you, then you know they realize they have to do something else, and you're unfazable. Okay, he's smart. And then what people don't realize is, silence is deadly. When you kill people with silence, they kind of understand that, okay, he didn't move when I said what I said, but I know he heard me. So now he has to watch your every move because he's thinking about the get back and whether or not you're going to get back. In his mind, he may think that you're soft, but he's still scared about what your response may be because you didn't give him a verbal response. So now he's maybe looking for a physical response. And if you don't give him that, now he got to worry about it in the back of his mind for as long as he knows you. So now you living rent free in his mental, because he knows that he's crossed that line. And one day you may feel like, repaying him back for what he did. I'm not telling you to hold any grudges, but one day you might feel that way, and you might catch him in a down position, and you might kick him when he's down. And remember this, remember that, and these the times where get back is always comes into play. I'm not saying do that, but I'm just saying if you kind of control your mannerisms and your anger and your emotions, you'll be out here longer, you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, I found new ways to like irritate people without even saying much.
Mm.
It's like like let's say you have an argument with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
There, you got your point across.
Mm-hmm.
before they're able to get their point across, you just walk off. So now it's stuck in their head that damn, I couldn't even get nothing off.
That's it.
They can
That's
be like,
it.
wait, I got something to tell you. Just keep on walking.
Yeah.
And that
Now
irritates people the most for some apparent reason.
it does. It does because now you took away their desire. The desire to be heard is no longer important to you. So now they want to address you, and you're not even listening. You know what I mean? So that's the power of silence. That's why I said that's the same thing. You know, it plays on your conscience more than trying to overtalk somebody. You know, because normally the female trait is to argue back and forth. And then a lot of times, because we're raised by our single moms and we hear our moms argue, we think that that's how we're supposed to function. But men shouldn't argue with women. Men shouldn't argue, period. You know, men are either about action or not. You know what I mean? So once you take a chill and you recollect on what's going on, you can kill them with silence and keep it moving. You know, because you're either gonna show or you're gonna prove. You know what I mean? And that's just how we function. You know, and I've always been told the quickest way to knock someone out is to hit them while they're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you hit them while they're talking, you will probably knock them clean out. Not just hit them, but you will knock them out if you hit them while they're talking. So don't talk. Please don't talk too much, especially in an altercation and someone's in your face. Don't be the one that's talking.
Because you're not really paying attention to your surroundings as much.
Yeah, and you're not on guard. You're not ready. You're not ready. You are talking. People when boxers fight, they're not talking. They got their mouthpiece in their mouth and they got they set up and they're ready to they're grimacing for whatever may be coming in their way, you know. But the guy that's talking, and then you see it, you get blindsided, and they are like, oh man, that's what you snuck him, yeah, whatever, you know. Ain't no rules in street fight.
Yeah.
That's another thing, you know. So,
Everybody
but
got some pockets in, you know?
yeah, shout out to Big B, man. I remember a situation going back to 125. I think situation like that at 125 where niggas was arguing over a call. They ain't like this shit. This one was very hot headed and was young, and he knocked the young nigga Antonio out, and nigga was leaking, and it was like, oh shit, game's over, no more basketball for the day. You know what I mean? It was like, oh man, damn. You know, it was over. You know, that was one day. It was like that's just another episode. You know, the old man, the old man that was at the park yelling at everybody, telling us to go home. And what happened? They snuck him while he was talking. Sleep, night night, snoring on the floor, snoring
On Christmas Day.
on Christmas. You know, and shit like that go on, man. And I ain't trying to incriminate nobody, man. So the names have been changed in these stories, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Wink, wink. But
Or edited later.
yeah, but you know, it's shit like that, man. So, but my question to you, so I'm gonna play interviewer now.
All right.
My question to you is, how do you think growing up in this community has changed who you are as becoming a man and becoming a brother and a good friend to your comrades and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that you picked up some jewels along the way from different people that have really helped mold who you are today?
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm
Like, for
saying?
example, when it comes to that, growing up in this era, meeting everybody at the park,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to understand like different aspects, what I should do, what I should listen to, and stuff like that.
Okay.
We'll just say I would just say Liger for example.
Okay.
So Liger,
Shouts out to Liger. Uh-huh.
biggest hoe I know. At the time, I was like 14, 15. And
Uh-huh.
then, I guess he was hearing a conversation. I was talking to him about my first girlfriend and stuff like that. He said,
Uh-huh.
"You know what you got to do to get some pussy?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
To rub her back, give her a little massage,
Okay.
and after
Okay.
that, you could she do whatever you want,
That's it.
just like that."
Word to the wise.
And
Did it work?
it worked perfectly. And to this day, I always use that. Like,
Oh man.
throw a little massage.
Uh-oh.
They always vote for a massage.
That's it. That's it. Uh-oh.
And
So if Kowski's offering a massage, you know what's next. So y'all better slow down. No, no, no. But I feel you though. I feel you. No, that's smooth. That's a smooth criminal. That's how you do it. I mean, they, and I think if they're gonna allow you to rub their back, then they already liked you in that way.
yeah,
They're just trying to get the most out of the situation. But that's a good example. You got some other ones?
another one is when how you was talking about based on who you surround yourself with is who you become.
Mm-hmm.
One of our friends named Chris, the skinny white boy,
Chris.
the blonde one,
Are you talking about
the rapper one.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
one.
That
So
went to Cali and came back.
I think so, yeah.
Uh, Chris, I'm trying to remember. Go ahead, go ahead.
So pretty much before he met us, he was like, I guess later throughout the line, I met him like at a gas station a couple years back.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying he was appreciating us since he started playing ball with us. He stopped smoking,
Okay.
and then he wanted to come play ball every day. So since he stopped playing basketball with us, like years later, he went back into smoking, and it's like he realized how the game of basketball and being around us and our like competitiveness forced him to stop smoking. So he's able to keep up.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay.
So it's like it's the little things that we don't really appreciate at the time, but over time when you think about it, it pretty much molds us who we are today.
Yeah, yeah. When you said white boy, I was thinking about Walter. Remember Walter?
Who's Walton?
He was like he was like the goofy. He used to be he was a lifeguard too. He looked like Bill Walton. He was a white boy, Jewish. He used to come
He's
play
our
with.
age or your age?
He's a little bit older than y'all, but he was younger than me. And he used to come to the park all the time.
Was he good?
Not really, but he was okay, And we called him Bill Walton because he looked like Bill Walton, and he was a swimmer. He used to swim. He was a lifeguard, and I remember like he died early, And I remember he died, and I was like, what the hell happened to Walter? I think he died like in a car accident or something like that. But it was if you saw his face, you would remember him.
Maybe.
And that's why I'd be like, damn. I'd be like, yo, there's a lot of cats. Like when I look at my age now, and I'll be like, yo, it's a lot of people that is dead and gone that came through that ain't here no more. Like you remember Black?
Zo.
No, no. He wasn't Haitian. He was American, but he used to come on a scooter sometimes, and he used to drive a red Lincoln.
He had like a long pinky fingernail.
I think so.
He's the one that poked Mario in the eye.
He might have. He might have. I mean, but Black. His name was Black. He had goals. He was a little bit older than me. He was a little bit older than me, and he had a brother that was tall and could dunk. And he was like his brother was real athletic. But Black used to drive a scooter. Used to come to the park and play with us. He got hit off of a scooter on 135th and like 27th Avenue, dead on arrival. Like there's a lot of cats that we used to play ball with. I don't remember. Damn, it was a big heavy set nigga that used to play ball with us too. He died from a heart attack.
I heard about that one.
Yeah, I know you remember him because he used to play with. He was one of DJ Chipman's boys.
Yeah,
and he used to come play with us. It's a lot of cats that like is dead and gone. And I was like, man, when you spoke to me about doing the 125, I started thinking about a lot of people that ain't here no more. Because I started to just go back through the mental memory, and it's like shit. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas still out here. And sometimes you wonder, boy, when it's gonna be your time to go, man. You be like,
that's why every day I just try to live my best life, regardless. do
For
something,
real.
stay productive. I can't get lazy. Well, it's not in my blood anymore, so it's like I get irritated when I'm like lazy as fuck. So
That's
I
what's
always
up,
have to do
bro.
something.
I hear that. I hear
But it's
that.
like the park just builds everybody in a way.
Yeah.
It's like Mario. You guys
Hmm.
gave him the name Sunty.
Oh man, I didn't give him that name, man. I used to give niggas names. I don't think I give him that
It
one.
was Angel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I guess what that was so he could correct his hygiene, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think one day y'all playing ball with him and he said,
yeah,
"Damn, I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie, Zo, you stank, Zo."
Damn. He had to switch it up. From that point on, he probably been buying deodorant ever since. From the dollar store, from Walgreens, he trying to get right. I know it.
After that day, you know it's funny. The next following day, his armpits are purely white of deodorant.
That's it. That's it. And you learn quick, man. And that's why I always say men sharpen men. Like we need that. We need that. That's what this generation doesn't have. It's like,
Tough love.
yeah, from their peers, from men that are older than them that they look up to, what they inspire to be like. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. So now you're just in the household and you're kept and like you're an eggshell. And anytime somebody taps at your window, you just crack. You know, you can't be that in this world because this world will break you, you know.
Or shoot you.
Yeah, exactly. They'll do that. They'll definitely shoot you. But you know, you don't want to be that fragile. You know what I mean? For real, for real.
So what would you say from the 125 experiences? Who had some deserved ass whoopings?
I haven't seen like personally. I haven't seen a lot of the ass whoopings, and I think that's why I say our time there was more subtle. Like we were calmer. But I used to hear about numerous feuds, you know, and like the one I spoke about earlier with Big B and Antonio, I heard that was an issue. I remember, I remember my homeboy Greedy Black and his brothers having a feud with and which are the brothers that live 2 blocks away from the park, and they would fight at the park. It was like things like that that kind of like these were the things that I used to hear about that was going on because they would be at the park hanging with girlfriends. They got an issue with his girlfriend. They would have beef, and then meet up at the park, and then be like, "So what's up?" And they just fighting, and it's 125 is only so small, but there's no police around, there's no security around, so it would go down, and it'd be like UFC. It'd
Yep.
be like a cage match until somebody runs away. You know what I mean? Because everybody was trying to stand on business, so to speak. So there was a lot of things. I don't think me. I'm not an advocate for violence, so I wouldn't. A lot of the times I tried to stop as much violence as possible because I seen firsthand what that can do. Like when I was 12 years old, like I was telling you, when Tito died at Gratney, I was there, and I seen how a, a foul in basketball can turn into the loss of a life, and it affected so many of us, you know, because to be 12 years old and see somebody that that rocks with you, that knows you, that he wants to see you be great, you know, choke out on his own blood at a young age. When you see that, you don't ever want to see that again. You know what I mean? Especially if you can do something to stop it. So a lot of the times I would try to stop a lot of the fights that transpired. But I don't know who deserves what, you know what I mean? Because I'm not perfect and I'm not gonna judge nobody. But I've heard of a couple of quarrels. I've heard, different bullies getting bullied. I've heard, you know, other people coming from different hoods trying to put down. and getting ran out the park. You know what I mean? So there's different things. You know what I'm saying that has transpired.
So how about, let's say, for example, from your experience, a bully that got served justice?
A bully that got served justice. I don't know. Personally, I can't call it. I can't call it. Now, do you have a situation where you know a bully that got served that you
Should
remember?
would it be considered a story?
Oh shit. Well, I wasn't there for the story, but the bully I think was considered that. From what I heard. But like I said, I wasn't there. But I do believe an older dude was messing with a younger dude, and he didn't know who the younger dude was. Whose brothers or who he was rocking with. And when they came back with a vengeance and damn near tried to kill the man. You know, he's lucky he got away with his life from what I hear. Um, and the crazy thing was he knew he knew it was smoke. He knew he had pressure, but I guess he was willing to stand in the paint for basketball, where it didn't make sense to me. But at some point in time, you know, when people know how you move, they might get to the bag before you, quote unquote. You know what I mean? And I believe that's what happened in his situation. And like at the end of the day, I don't want to speak on it too much because I wasn't there to do it. And I think if I was there, I don't think I would have allowed it to happen in the format that it did happen, even though it might have been it might have been what you would say, got warranted. You know what I mean? Like maybe the ass whooping was warranted that he was gonna get. But if I was there, I think I would have tried to stop it to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Now, can I say that I would have been successful? I don't know because I don't even know the guys who did what happened. You know what I'm saying? But just because I felt like I was a martyr of the park at that time, a leader in the community, I wouldn't allow somebody to just come and beat up on somebody that I was affiliated with. You know what I mean? And I could say was a friend. You know, he wasn't my best friend, but he was a friend in basketball, so to speak.
Yeah.
So when it did happen, I was um, I was shocked because I never witnessed the first thing that happened, and I didn't witness the get back either, which is rare because I used to be at the park almost every day, so I missed both incidents, and I think that was just God. I think God just didn't want me to see those incidents because I didn't see when he supposedly slapped the kid, and I didn't see when the guys came back to beat him up either. So, and that was rare because I used to be at the park Monday through Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. So I would be there as much as possible. So the days that I wasn't there, maybe God was telling me, go do your studio session, you know, get out the way. Maybe if I was there, maybe I would have been somebody that's catching an L or catching a bullet or, you know, whatever's clever. But I wasn't there, you know what I mean? But I do think that moment was a kind of like a turning moment for our run and generation at the park, you know. But what a week later we was back outside
Yeah,
playing.
pretty
It
much.
wasn't like it stopped our flow, you know what I mean?
We just gave it some time.
We just gave it a little bit of time, you know. And really he had to give it some time, you know what I mean? Because he was the outsider trying to
Get vengeance back.
yeah, and trying to kind of be, you know, trying to gain territory, you know, like gain ground on our hood, so to speak. So, you know, but like I said, I don't ever talk about that shit here, and I think a lot of that was his ignorance too. Like the other day, brought up a post about Haitians and us being the first, Black Republic to gain our independence. And for me to hear him say that was full circle. You know what I mean? Because when he used to talk that shit of like, I ain't with y'all Haitians, y'all Zoes, and he used to talk very ignorant because he didn't understand our culture. He was from Booker T. Washington, and he was in North Miami now. And North Miami is a primarily Haitian community, so you got to watch how you talk and watch who you offend. And now he lives in our community. He kind of understands it now. He's done his research. He's done his science. He's done his homework, and now he was giving kudos to the Haitians as a culture, and on that's on the strength of us gaining our independence in 1804 before any black or Western Hemisphere country was able to do so. So shouts out to him, and just like anybody, anybody that we know, like we grow strong. I guess that was just a bump in the road that he had to endure. You know what I'm saying? He had to cross that. For him to get to where he at now, he maybe had to go through whatever he went through back there. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. And it ain't like everybody hated her. No, nobody hated you. You just had hate for people that you didn't even know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and that's ignorance. That's ignorance at its finest. You hate you. People fear what they don't understand, what they don't know. You know. So but we've always been like that, and I've always understood that Americans always looked at us as different. You know. And personally, I didn't have to deal with too much of that because of my skin complexion. I was always able to pass as black American. Even though if you would ask me, I would tell you that I'm Haitian. But when they looked at me, I guess I passed the eyeball test where I looked just like one of them, so to speak. I would always get the, oh, you don't look Haitian. Oh, you don't look Haitian. And you'd be like, what the fuck Haitian look like? We all black, but you get those conversations and y'all speak on that. But so I used to be in PSU, Lodgemont, Lincoln Field, and I'm just hanging out, going to scout projects, and these were because if you was young at my age, the Haitian girls couldn't go outside. So
Yeah.
if you was looking for young Cuda, you had to go to the hood. You had to go to the flea market. You had to go to Liberty City. You had to go to Scott Projects. You had to go to these places where their parents were more lenient on their children, and you'll be outside with their daughter or their parents at work, and you sneaking in the hood, and you in the projects, and you chilling, or you come over, you say hi to mom, and then you could go duck off in the room with her because she understand. She's more Americanized and kind of hip to what may happen next. They're trying to find a good young man for their daughter to bring them out of poverty. You know what I mean? So they're looking for their King Jeffrey. They're coming to America. You know what I mean? But you know. Cause shit, in our hood, the girls weren't outside. You couldn't go outside. Haitian girls, they barely could dress when we was young. You had a couple of them that was fly to death, but everybody else was still getting dressed by their mom. They wasn't really hip to the fashion, so they wasn't the finest girls. You know what I mean? You know, and but when you went to the Pac Jam or you went to the what they used to call it, the National Guard, you'll go out there and you'll meet the Kikis and you'll meet the Keishas and you'll meet the Kianas and these girls and they get your number and you meet them. You go to the Omni and meet them at the mall. Go to the movies. Go on little dates with Sean and Chantel and all of that shit. These were the things that we did just being young, you know. and we was able to kind of experience that on another level, you know. But I mean, as Haitians, we would never go over there and talk crazy about the Americans,
Of course
because
not.
it didn't make no sense. Like, why would I be in your neighborhood talking down on y'all? But it was something that Black Americans have seemed to do in Haitian communities, and they think it's gonna be sweet. It doesn't work like that. Like, you're creating unnecessary drama for yourself. And at the end of the day, you either gonna your mouth can get you in situations that your hands can't get you out of. Like they say, your mouth write checks that your ass can't cash. You know, and that's how it be going down. You know.
Like having when you well, let's go back to like the park stories. Like, have you ever hurt somebody's feelings at the park
Oh, all
before?
the time. I mean, all the time. Like, that's part of the game. I mean, I think just playing basketball, you're gonna hurt niggas' feelings. You know, I mean, because basketball is a trash talking sport. Like I say, it's an alpha dog sport. So when you feeling it, just you don't have to say nothing. You could just be beating somebody to the point where they just become irate. You know what I mean? But the moment you start to kind of showboat a little bit and start talking with it, and then you're backing up the game, oh man, they get furious, man. Like, I think I probably talked a whole lot of shit. You know what I mean? And I used to. I don't know if I mentally would take people out of their game because I wasn't concerned about their game. I just was concerned with. I was very knowledgeable of my ability, so I would talk my shit. You would just have to be the opponent that got to deal with it. You know what I mean? But like shit, just the other day, I hit the game-winning shot last night, and my celebration dances. I'm standing over your head like I'm shooting. I'm killing you. Face shots. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that make niggas mad. They're like, damn, he shot that shit dead in my face. You know? But that's basketball, man. So people gonna get their feelings hurt, you know what I mean? Because they wanna win. And when they can't win, and you tell them they can't win, or you tell somebody they gonna lose, and they doing everything in their power to not lose, and they still lose, oh man, it's a different hurt. It's a different hurt. So yeah, it's been plenty of times. Now, have I like I don't think I've been a bully on the court where like I know somebody is inferior of me or scared of me, and I just try to like poke them and make them want to fight me so I could beat them up. I don't think that I've ever done that. You know what I mean? I've never been a fan of that. You know what I'm saying? Because in life, you don't never want somebody to be afraid of you or like petrified of you. Because a nigga that is scared of you, like anytime he see you, he wants to go the other way. That's the same person who is gonna come up with a plot to kill you.
Oh, that's
Because
crazy.
because he's so petrified by you that he cannot do anything if you're in the way. So mentally, he got to take you out, and he's thinking about ways to do it. You know what I mean? So I don't never want someone to be that scared of me. You know what I mean? Because I think that's the worst thing that can happen. Because you ain't got to be a real nigga to pull a trigger. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But scary niggas kill niggas too. And I think most niggas who kill people are people that are very scared of that person. They're too scared to fight them. They're too scared to confront them. So they rather just get rid of them. You know what I mean? And they'll do it. And they'll do it without thinking about the consequences. And then they'll spend life in jail, but you'll be fucking a picture on a t-shirt. So I never wanted anyone to be that inferior of me. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's cool. You know, I don't think that's cool. But you know, at the end of the day, man, shit happens. But I don't, not me. You know.
Like I probably hurt like one person's feelings. I remember like to this day because I found that a little funny.
Yeah.
Because it's like back then I was very blunt when it comes to things I say. I don't really think about it. I just say stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace to Bruce, just because
Uh-huh.
that's because of what I said to him one day.
To Bruce?
Yeah, to Bruce.
Oh wow. To the OG. What you told Bruce?
So I told Bruce because he was telling a joke or something.
Uh-huh.
You know how Bruce is when he
Yeah.
laughs.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
you gotta laugh. You can hear from 2 blocks away.
So one
Uh-huh.
day I told Bruce like, "Yo, you know you have a particular way you laugh.
Mm-hmm.
You'll
Mm-hmm.
tell a joke, you hit the guy in the arm,
Mm-hmm.
and then you laugh so they can laugh with you.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So then everybody's like, oh shit, he does really do that. So
Uh-huh.
then Bruce like stopped laughing. He looked and he walked away.
Uh-huh.
He didn't talk to me for like 3 days
Uh-huh.
because he realized I exposed him.
Yeah, you exposed him. He was getting people to laugh with him when he say something.
Yeah.
So he was coercing people to laugh with him. He was like, "Man, you really ain't that funny." You told bro, "You really ain't that funny." Huh?
Yeah, I already told him that.
Fuck it. It be like that, man. But Bruce was the homie. You know how long I know Bruce, man? Bruce used to play at Grattan, and Bruce used to drive a red Hyundai. You ever seen Boys in the Hood?
Yeah.
You ever seen the car that he pulls up when he's like, Ricky?
Yeah.
He used to drive a red one just like that. And he used to recruit my cousin Cadet. He'll have him, Cadet, Cox, and then I think sometimes he'll get Steve, Eves, that was locked up. And I heard he just died. But he'll get them four, and then they will go park to park. They'll go Fort Lauderdale, go play niggas. They'll go everywhere, and because he'll get my cousin, sometimes I would just go with him. But I knew after the game was over, we was going to Wendy's. We was going to Wendy's, man. And if you know Bruce, you know Bruce loves junk food. Bruce car used to be full of like
Yeah.
McDonald's fries and boxes and shit. And I knew we was going to Wendy's, so I would come and watch them play basketball all day, just so I could. I had my little $2 for my 99 cent single. I have my $2, and then I'll see what they gonna buy for me, and then I get whatever they gonna get, and then I get my $2 and go get me another single and a frosty or something, and then I had me a nice little meal, and that was just like the little things in life that I used to appreciate. So Bruce was always like a big homie to me, man. Always a big brother, you
Yeah, he used
know.
to take us to like parks when we were walking.
You see it? That's what I'm
So
saying. Bruce was always a good nigga, man. That's why I was like, it's unfortunate, like when people die early. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Bruce was what 46 when he died.
yeah.
You know, shit, I'm almost there right now. You know what I mean? So
It's all about good health. Like you
yeah,
said, he's been eating a lot of junk food, so it's like caught up with him over time.
yeah. That's that shit right there. That's that shit right there. You know, you gotta stay away from these processed foods, dog. They killing us, man. They killing us slow.
We love it so much because it's cheap.
We love it because it tastes good too. Like we think it tastes good, but we don't know no better. You know, like when you eat a real good burger, you be thinking McDonald's is what the burger's supposed to taste like. Nah, McDonald's is really a shitty tasting burger. When you eat a real good burger, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I compare like Five Guys to Wendy's, it's no comparison.
Hi guys,
You
taste
know
the
what I
cakes.
mean? Yeah, like Five Guys tastes the cake for me. It's like Five Guys, and it just tastes like the ingredients are better, you know. But you couldn't tell me that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Wendy's was everything. You know what? I give me a double with cheese and some bacon. It was like, oh, that was everything. But now I realize, okay, this ain't even real meat. This ain't even, this ain't even this and that and this. When you start finding out what real food's supposed to taste like and how it's supposed to make you feel, and you realize, damn, we've been eating junk for a long time, that we've been poisoning ourselves, you know?
Like this year, I had to stop eating Wendy's because I've been eating Wendy's for like years, and I'm like, since I haven't been eating Wendy's, I've been feeling better in life. I'm not gonna lie.
Trust me. Just the bread alone. Just not eating like at one point in time, at one point in time, I would buy Wendy's and then I would take the top button off and I would eat the burger like a taco. So at least I was eating half the carbs. You know what I mean? But their bread is already sprayed with stuff to make it last forever. Like their bread doesn't mold. So now we're chewing that and we're putting it in our body and we're expecting our body to decompose of it, to get rid of it. But the shit doesn't even get rid of it. Oxygen, which kills everything in the world except us, except humans, can't even kill that bread. You know what I mean? Like it don't even get moldy. And we're putting it in our system and expecting our acid in our stomach to break down those things. You know what I mean? And I trust me, I was the kid that used to get 4 singles, 4 double stacks. Like if I had $10, I could spend 8 of it on burgers and get a biggie drink and a small fry, and that was good. And I'll be throwing them back. So shit done with. It's over. You ate, yeah, I ate. Vump went plant. I'm big stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Feeling good.
Feeling good. Can't wait to take a shit to relieve myself of the agony I just put myself in trying to finish it all. But I'm good. I'm full. At least my stomach ain't hurting from starving. You know. But then when you get older, you realize, man, that's not the way to go. That's not the trend. You know.
Yeah, over time, you just gotta change your lifestyle.
Yeah, all the time. And that's life. Life is about transitions. Life is about transitions, man. When you're young, there's a lot of things that you don't understand. And then when you're young, and that's the beauty of being young, because when you're young, that's when you have the most guidance. That's when you have people who really care about what you're doing and how you're doing it. The moment you become an adult and people stop caring about what you're doing, then it's all on you. And when it's all on you, you're probably not gonna know how to do things the way you're supposed to do it in order to have longevity. So you have to learn through trial and error. And you're gonna have to bump your head a couple of times, you know what I mean? And then, and then once you find out what you don't like or what you don't need, you realize what you do need and what you do like, and that's life, man. That's the cycle, you know. And the only advantage that people who listen to people that were here before them is they learn through other people's experiences, you know, like with me and baby mamas type shit, like I saw my brothers going through it. I tried not to go through it. I still had to go through it. You know what I mean? I still had to go through it, unfortunately, because everyone's life is different to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, it's all the same shit. And if my brothers would have told me this or told me that or helped me with this or helped me with that, I probably wouldn't be in certain situations, you know. But take heed to mentorship, man. Take heed to guidance, man. Find somebody that you want to be like and try to mirror the moves that they've made, at least the positive ones, the good ones. And then ask them about the mistakes that they made and try not to mimic those. Try to understand the lessons that they learned from those mistakes and gain those jewels without taking the losses. You know what I mean? And that's the best advice I could give any young cat in this world today. You know, is rock with the people that have wisdom, that you trust their wisdom, and use their guidance wisely. I'm not saying for you to be a disciple of their words, but understand what they went through and try to, you know, interpret and put that in your game plan and master your own way of doing things. And trust me, you'll be all right. And then whenever you feel like you out of bounds, you can still go back for more guidance. You know. But at the end of the day, man, I'm proud of y'all boys, man. I love y'all niggas. I love everything y'all boys been doing. And every time I see y'all together, it reminds me of me and my homies, the ones that stood here, and we be together and we just try to keep it moving, you know. Like there's no animosity amongst us. Everyone is doing good for themselves and for their family, and we just trying to, motivate and inspire.
As we try, man. I rarely see them nowadays. Probably maybe Sundays at most.
Yeah, because you're the bachelor, right? You're the bachelor. Everyone else is booed up or married, right? So
No, I got me a girl.
Oh, okay,
I just
okay,
know how to manage my time. That's all it is.
okay. Well, I mean,
they're whipped, so they're extra whipped.
Just do it. They hoo-ha, got you all in check. Yeah, no.
Because as I was thinking about it, I'm like, damn, there's levels to being whipped.
Oh yeah. It's definitely levels. It's definitely levels.
Because it's like when I was thinking about it, I'm like level 1 whipped, where I'm able to manage time with everybody, and there's like level 2, where you have to ask for permission to hang out with the boys.
Oh no, that's crazy.
And then level 3, she dictates on what you do in your everyday life.
Oh man.
And that's just some people I know so far. It's crazy.
That's
level 3.
That's crazy. Man, y'all guys is hard on these boys, boy. Y'all ain't get letting up. Y'all hard on them. You know, like Tupac say, man, you gotta let your nigga go away. Let him do what he gotta do, so he could come back and love you better. You know.
I be wondering, like, what do they tell you so you can listen to every move like they do? Like what do they tell you to stay home all day?
That they ain't gonna get no coochie.
That's some crazy shit.
That's it. That's all that is. Or they gonna be mad. What can a woman do to you? I was telling my brother that the other day. He was arguing with my mama. And I'm like, why are you arguing with the old girl? I said, women can't do nothing to a man but say shit that's gonna manipulate your mind and make you act emotionally.
I agree.
That's it. They can't whoop you. They can't physically beat you.
Unless they're MMA.
They ain't doing that.
Unless you're dating a super strong Russian girl.
Unless, but they ain't doing that. And even if you do get a strong Russian girl, the fact that you got a good, strong Russian girl, you got to be able to hem her up. She has to be somewhat weaker than you in order for you to think that you can be with her. Because you're not going to just let her run you. She's not going to defend you. You want to be able to feel like you can defend her. So even in that situation, you got to understand that, there's nothing they can do to you physically that should move you. So the only way they get you to move is by saying the harshest things to you, the meanest things to you. You know what I mean? And when you listen to that and you digest it and you process it, now you become emotionally moved. And then you start acting upon what they're asking you to do, which is unheard of. You know what I mean? Once you master that, and you realize, man, okay, she just talking. And then you let them talk. And then you keep it moving. You keep running your plan, keep doing what you got to do. At the end of the day, they really can't stop you. You know what I mean? That's their job. Their job is to talk. That's why they created gossip. Men ain't supposed to gossip, you know?
It just comes in forms of just pleasing. That's what I think. Rather,
Yeah,
so they can like shut the fuck up. They rather just do what they want so they can feel pleased. But
yeah, but that makes you submissive, and submissive to the extent that you're passive on anything that matters to you, which turns you into a sucker. And once a woman knows she has a sucker, she's gonna play you for a sucker and then she's gonna be getting, she's gonna call you a sucker, and then she's going to be entertaining someone else that's not a sucker. You know what I mean? And because that person puts up a fight. And sometimes women just want to be entangled. They don't want to be in something that's too easy. They don't want to push over. They don't want someone they can walk over. And these are the toxic women. These are the women that you don't even want to be in relationships with. But sometimes when we're in them, we have to understand the dynamic of the relationship. And you got to be able to understand how you are going to be able to survive in that relationship.
so you're saying relationships is pretty much just survival.
Well, it, every day is survival. And every relationship we are in is, it's based on it. You know what I mean? Like there's some. Anytime you in it with a lady, you gotta understand that there is a mental dynamic that you have to keep your sanity somehow, somewhere. And a sane relationship is a relationship where the dialogue goes back and forth, and they have constant communication, and they're able to express how they feel to each other without any problems, without anyone being emotionally unavailable, or someone not being emotionally unintelligent, or where they close down or they become cold because you're speaking about them in aspect or in real life form, in real time, you know.
So,
But
so for most people that are out there, like, what's your definition for somebody that's unemotionally available?
what emotionally unavailable to me is like someone who doesn't have the intelligence to understand that just because I may be talking about something that you did or doing doesn't mean that you have to shut down or automatically deflect. And when I say deflect, it's like, well, what about you? Well, what about you? Well, what about you? Well, what about me? Right now, we're talking about something that you just did, and I'm correcting your actions. So don't give me the what about me from 3 weeks ago when we're talking about today's disjustice. You know what I'm saying? And so emotionally, they're not intelligent enough to have those conversations and understand that they're wrong at that moment because they just want to be right within the conversation. They want to be right within the conversation. And because they don't want to acknowledge that they're wrong, they try to make you wrong as well. And that's not even the conversation. It's not even worth while I'm talking about something I did in January when you just did this shit March 31st. Like, why are we talking about January? You just did this shit last night, and I'm telling you I don't like it from last night, but you bringing up some shit I did on the first of the year. Like it don't make no sense. But that's the things that women will do in order to get you to stop talking about them because they're so sensitive and they're so insecure about their own actions So that's a defense mechanism that women use, you know. And then sometimes women will bring up dumb arguments just to have something to rebuttal you will come to them with facts. And sometimes they'll make up shit. They'll make up lies just to have something to talk to you about to make you feel some type of way, you know. But that's how it is, you know, like deep down inside, no one wants to hear about themselves, especially if it's in a negative light, you know. But when you're mature and you hold yourself accountable, you can listen to those things and then you can judge your own actions and go forward. And that's why I like sports. You know what I'm saying? It's like when we playing ball and a nigga mess up and you hear that nigga say, man, that's my bad. That's accountability. You know what I mean? And after a while, if the nigga keeps saying my bad, my bad, my bad, you be like, yo, man,
You
I'm
fucking
tired
up.
of I'm tired of hearing my bad. Just fix it. You know, fix the problem. You know what I mean? But the fact that they are willing to say my bad means that they understand that what they did was wrong, and now they're on the verge of trying to fix it. Whether they can or not, or whether they know how to, depends on their own intelligence. And if they don't know how to, then are they going to be able to take the tutelage? Can you tell them how to stop that guy from breaking them, or can you tell him how to defend that guy that's beating him on the drive? You know what I mean? And then from that point on, now you can get somewhere, you know. But that's the things that communication. That's what makes communication key, you know. But when you're playing sports and you're playing team sports, that's the whole thing about teamwork. You know, is being able to communicate and find out what's what and this and that, you know, find out what works for us at this point in time. And that's what relationships are. It's just a team, you know. It's you and her against the world, so to speak.
Nowadays, everybody has a hard time taking accountability. So
Oh man. No one wants to be accountable, especially if it's something good. But everyone wants credit. Everybody wants credit when things are good, but no one wants to take the blame when things are bad. You know?
or whenever they get spotted off for getting like for cheating and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, well, how you feel about cheating, man?
There's all types of forms of cheating, bro. So it's like I mean, my definition of cheating is like still talking to people I used to fuck with,
Mm.
and that's a lot. I've realized that when it comes to women, it's like they don't have to like flirt with a person, but it's the fact that you're giving them still access into your life, so they believe that they still have a chance.
Most women go backwards before they go forward.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's true. So women, y'all are guilty of that. All y'all guilty of that. Before y'all move forward, y'all to play in y'all DMs with all y'all exes and all y'all little boy toys from the past. And then because that's why they keep the boy toys around. Because the boy toys are all just auditioning for the next starring role.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's how it goes. So the moment you decide to call it quits and it's final, you know,
you got the
or
runner ups.
hey, they having auditions and they're gonna go maybe on 2 dates because they had they one and they had they two. They had backup A and they had backup B. They're gonna go on 2 dates, find out who's more financially secure and who really is serious about being in the quote unquote relationship that they envision being themselves being in. And that's when they jump. Then you be like, damn, shit, we was together 4, 5 years and she already got another nigga less than a month.
Yeah,
Nah, that nigga been caking for about 2.5 years, bro. Good morning, gorgeous. Good morning, beautiful. All in the DMs and
mm-hmm.
shit. We know about y'all niggas. Y'all little backdoor sliders. We know. Trust me. Trust me, we know. But you know, hey,
Part of the game.
if she like it, then you ain't got no choice but to love it. And you gotta let her go. Like JT Money say, man, let her go. Because if she's still playing in the past, that means she really don't see no future with you.
Damn, that's some facts right there.
Feel me? If she playing in the past, that means she don't see a future with you, dog. You know what I'm saying? So whatever may have happened, that she can't see no future with you, if you ain't fixed that problem, then it's always gonna be more problems, you know. But that's the internet too, man. The internet got everybody thinking that, their next nigga is on speed dial.
Yeah.
All they gotta do is scroll three pages up, and they get their next boo. That's what they think though, but that's not reality. You know.
Like, what's your hot take for if guys have a lot of female friends in a relationship? Is that good or bad?
I mean, guys can have a lot of female friends. I mean, do I think it's good for the relationship? No, because I think women naturally are territorial and they're insecure to a certain extent. Even if they're secure, the fact that you have the fact that these other women have access to you would make a woman who is strong about her position in your life, that would turn her off. It would deter her. Now, if you have these friends and it's in a working atmosphere or it's because you are networking, now people gotta understand that every girl is not an item, it's not a sex object, it's not something of that nature, you know. But and you just got to be real with yourself. And you have to have the women have to have the confidence to know that they are the chosen one aside from all of the others. But a lot of times I know why women feel like that way because me, I'm a private person. So I'm a private person, but when I'm networking, I have to be a public person. So it may look like I'm flaunting the friend girls in a public networking facility, but I'm hiding my significant other in real life or on social media.
I agree.
So now my lady may feel some type of way. Well, why you put pictures of you and all these other girls on the internet, but you never put pictures of us up together? And I'd be like, because those are just for the look. Those are for the work. This is for what we do. Now, for them to get intimately close and to know who I am and who I'm really involved with, I don't care to share that. Because if you ever read the 48 Laws of Power, you understand that if your enemy cannot get you, the closest thing to you is your woman. So if they don't know who your woman is, they don't know how to get at you and in that form. So that's how I roll in that case. And that's what I have to explain to all the women that I deal with when they see me posting pictures with strippers or posting pictures with bartenders and things of that nature. I get those dialogue, those questions. And then they go, well, why you don't put no pictures of us up? And I'll be like, man, because I don't want nobody in my shit, you know? And the less they see of you, the less gossip you're gonna hear about me because people ain't gonna know who to go to when they see something that may look skeptical. They don't know who to go and who to bother, who DM to go into. They don't know whose page to follow and to drop little birdies and say, "Oh, is this your man? Hugged up with this guy? Or hugged up with this girl? You know what I mean, so to speak." So
The internet's a dirty place because that shit always happens.
yeah, trust me. And a picture can say so many things and say nothing at all at once. Like they say, a picture says 1,000 words, but it could say nothing too. You know, I remember I got hemmed up. It looked like there was a picture. It looked like this girl was dancing on me, but really she was dancing on another girl that was in front of me. So it was two girls dancing in front of me. I'm on the side of them, but the angle of the picture looked like like I'm dancing with one of them and the other one too. So like I'm dancing with both of them. And then I said, damn, I don't remember having that much fun that night. I said, I don't even think that's real. That might be AI. You know, I was like, that might be photographed or something. And then the only way I was able to clear my name in that situation was there was a video of the actual picture in motion. And when you saw the video, you saw the girl dancing with the other girl, and I just was in the vicinity. But you know what I mean? But from where the picture looked, it looked like I was dancing with the girl. And I said, you see how a picture that you get misconstrued, and then you let your feelings and your emotions take over, and now you know you wasted all your time and energy cussing me out for something that I told you that I had no part in doing. You know, and they'd be like, okay. But women love that shit. They love to go fucking ape shit about something that they think happened, you know, and then come back down and have to apologize or be sorry about it later. But you know, if you love your nigga, trust your nigga. And then if you can't trust your nigga, don't have no nigga.
Just like
Just
that.
just like that, straight like that. That's it. You know?
You have any questions for me, Don?
Nah, man, not at this moment, man. We've been at it for a little minute. This was longer than I thought it was gonna be. I might have to send you an invoice, dog.
All right.
Nah, but hey, like I said, man, it was a pleasure, man. You know, anytime y'all need me come back through, come rock it with y'all, man. It's whatever. You know, it's all love. 125. It's your boy Kokeezy.
All right, you guys. That's it for today's episode. If you laughed, you know we keep it real over here. So we'll see you on the next episode.
Raw and uncut.